if the middle might come around at some point during this race, that little area that they're not running in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even think the bottom line would be it. But man, I think if you can block the bottom line, take away these guys a slide job, then they'll just have to be fast up next to the outside wall. So either way, it's gonna be fun. Lots of lines here at Dirt Track of Charlotte as these guys are stacked up, packed up. Green flag is going to wave. The crowd has already taken pictures with their flashes. They shimmy a shive down into one, and Goldner, he's going to slide it up to the outside wall, and he'll be leading this pack of hungry hounds. We have one guy already sideways.
Well, there you go. I was waiting for your line. We got that in there. Stephen Goldner leads them as they head on down the backstretch in what is an extremely fast racetrack. And you can see by looking at that wider picture there, top four all up there at the top as Brennan Lacey is sitting right there in that final transfer spot. Here's the action for second place as there was a little contact there.
Single file, 1 through 4. Then we have one car down on the bottom. That's going to be Bandy trying to work that bottom side or middle side on an all-white machine. And now we got a slide job for third place. That's going to be Lacey, and he's going to squeeze himself right in there.
Now he's back up to the top. I'm going to have it done right back to him. Guy who's got to be feeling pretty good right now is point leader Brandon Schultz. As he is in second place, there's nobody right behind him, no racing going on. And that is him in that black and white number 1. Stephen Goldner, who won his championship, like we said on Monday, right there ahead of them. So it's good racing early on here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte.
Goldner's still trying to hold on to this thing. He's ripping the lip right next to the outside wall. Brandon Schultz looks like he can get a little bit lower coming off the corner as he maybe just tapped the wall, but there it is. The top two guys nose to tail as Lacey's trying to track him down.
And there's that bump again. We talked about that the last time I was on here. That bump on the racetrack is there because that is where the cars come out from the pit area. So a lot of times it packs that area down a little bit and leave it to the good folks at iRacing to not miss a detail as we're going to be coming up to the white flag this time.
As the number 4 machine of Lacey just taps the wall. So now it's a 2-car race for this heat race number 2. Both these guys are in. So will they race hard or will they just try to finish it off? As, man, this track looks very bumpy. Schultz takes it down to the bottom. Goldner's still going to be dedicated to the top, to the line. And Goldner's going to capture the checker flag for heat race number 2.
A safe move, really, though, for Schultz as he ends up in second. Lacey and Spies end up in the last transfer spots. But why not give that a shot on that last lap, right, Jake? You got to go down there, see what it's like, and now at least he knows, right?
Yes, race till the checker flag falls, and yeah, maybe he learned something there, and safe bet too. If the leader taps the wall there, you could get collected. So you definitely didn't want to run right there behind him.
And also, I'm thinking protecting against the slide job, not necessarily for the loss of position, but the chance at wrecking coming out of that last corner. So a smart move there by Brandon Schultz as he ends up getting in second. So his night just got a little bit easier. Heat race number 3 brought to us by Schultz Heating and Cooling. They're also out in Naples, New York. That's Western New York, where they need a routine maintenance check, emergency repair, anything like that. They are the guys to see. And we had snow on the ground this morning. So you guys in New York, make sure to look them up, 585-330 4992. Mike is a former stock car racer from up here in New York, so he's like us. He knows what's going on, and he will take good care of you. Here's the lineup for qualifying heat race number 3. Jeff Fitzpatrick and Sean Bowers. Fitzpatrick the 90, Bowers the 03. John Hine never ends up in the cruise shop heat. For some reason, he's in row 2 with Kyle Moonen. Matthew Croakey and Lane Snook. Snook just won the midget race earlier tonight. The teenager might not even be a teenager yet. He will start 6th. Jack Clevenger and Chris Sebeski. Sebeski is second in the points, so he did not need to have that qualifying effort that he did. He needs to get in and grab 4 spots so he can have a shot at running down Brandon Schultz. And David Flick will start in the last row all by himself. He's an occasional runner here on the series. He is in the number 56. Looks like Top Groove early, Jake.
Top Groove is, man, but this track is very bumpy, like you were saying.
Yes.
So that's definitely something to watch out for and see if that takes a toll on these guys' handle.
I wonder what that does and what that feels like in the car, because we can see it on the screen. It's bouncing. The front end has to get off the ground for a second, and you have to wonder if that does make you kind of reset the car when it lands again as we're ready for the green flag.
Stacked up, packed up, Jeff Fitzpatrick in that all-yellow machine, number 90 car. A little bit of pink on that car as well. He's going to take the lead, slide that thing all the way to the top side as we see these guys hit those speed bumps down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. And the 71 of John Hine, he looks kind of strong down on the bottom side.
First guy we've seen go really far down there, and it did not work as he just worked himself out of the screen. That was the car you saw in the extreme bottom. I like the line Fitzpatrick's running up high here, although here comes Sean Bowers to challenge him down in turn 1.
And he is. Will he try to slide it up in front of him? Not much
Whoa.
room. A little bit of a checkup by Jeff Fitzpatrick. He hits the wall. Now he's in the middle of the track, and we're going to make it 3 wide. Matthew is going to slide it up for second place. A little crossover action by Jeff Fitzpatrick. He's not giving up quite yet. Will he try to slide it up to the wall? A little bit of payback? No, he won't. But the 24 car of Kyle Moonen is right there as well.
And so is Lane Snook, who started back in 6th. That's the number 23 that you see on the bottom, one with a little bit of orange on it. He just slid his way up into position number 4. So he's in that final transfer spot. Good job by Fitzpatrick there. Not just regaining after that little bit of contact, but knowing not to slide that thing up all the way and cause a wreck. He's still in 2nd spot.
Yeah, he is. He's being very patient as the slide job kind of went wrong for him. But here we go. The 24 of Kyle Moon. He wants that 2nd spot, but Jeff Fitzpatrick seen it coming, and man, the top 3 have slowly pulled away with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think Fitzpatrick was ready for that one that time. I think he even lifted a hair just to make sure that there was no contact. I would think as the white flag comes out, Jake, as a driver, that's got to be a great feeling when you think he's going to slide job me, and then he does, and then you get him right back.
Yes, it does, and you just kind of got to look out of your left eyeball and see if he'll do that. But slide job city all night long here at the dirt track of Charlotte, as Sean's going to win it. Jeff Fitzpatrick 2nd. Kyle Moon is going to come home in 3rd.
And Chris Sebeski did what he needed to do there as he came 8th to 4th. So he did get in. He will be starting in 12th position. So he'll have some work to do to run down Brandon Schultz. But the big thing, like we said, Jake, was that he did get in and he doesn't have to run this B main.
Yeah, you're into the A main now. So that's what you want, right? You definitely don't want to be in the B main, but these guys are lucky that they're in the B main, and see if they can qualify into the Mac Daddy show.
Canadian and Australian in the front row. Kevin Lovey's from north of the border. Craig Silby from the land down under. Matthew Croakey and Chris Steele in row number 2. Aiden Young, Jack Clevenger in row number 3. Jamie McCarron and Jeffrey Barker, they sit in row number 4. John Hine, Larry Moody in row number 5. Jesse Bandy, David Flick, row 6. Preston Cranmer and Dakota Kuhn, row number 7. And Lane Snook at the back all by himself. This B main, of course, brought to you by the folks at Strickland's GMC. They're out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada. I don't know if you've seen them, Jake, but that new GMC truck, oh man, I just love the way that thing looks. So whether you like the new one, whether you want one a little older, better for your budget, make sure to go see the folks at Strickland's GMC. And that's not a GMC truck at the front. I think it's a Chevy, but we'll get Strickland's on that. We'll get them with iRacing, and they'll take care of that right away. So here we go. We've got 12 cars that are going to get in, 12 drivers, excuse me, out of 15. So unfortunately, there are going to be a few that are going to miss. No pressure for these guys at the back, unfortunately, right, Jake? It's got to be tough.
Yeah, these guys will have to get a move on quick, and don't know exactly how many laps. We got 10 laps only.
10 laps, yep.
So 10 lap B main, LCQ, the consolation race, whatever you want to call it. These guys will have to get a move on and step on it, floor it, and don't lift, and just hopefully everything shakes out okay.
Of course, there's 2 strategies I know sometimes, and I've talked to enough drivers over the years. You can be aggressive off the start, or sometimes in a race where you do have more in it than are actually going to get in, sometimes the strategy, like if you're starting 14th, 15th, might be to lay back for a second, see if they get together, dive to the bottom, miss the crash, finish 8th, and you're on to the next race, right, Jake?
Yeah, that little bit of racing luck, sometimes that's all you need. So, man, I wish I had some more racing luck, but sometimes I don't.
It's amazing how that works out. One of the few sports you can be just minding your own business, doing what you're supposed to do, and next thing you know, you're out of it and wondering what the heck went wrong. Green flag out here in the 10 lap Strickland's GMC consolation race. Lovey's and Silby in the front row racing for that top spot.
Craig Silsby looked very strong on the outside. I thought Kevin Lovely was going to capture the lead, but Craig Silsby says, wait up 1 second. He powered himself out on the outside, and he was able to grab it. Chris Steele is back there in 3rd place, running that middle line of that number 80 machine. And Matthew Croak is back there in 4th, and Jack Clevenger is rounding out the field. But the top 5 is kind of nose to tail around turns 1 and 2.
When I saw Sylvie's car at first, I thought something might be wrong with my trading paints pattern, but he's all one color on your screen too. So at the racetrack, it's always like they just barely made it out, didn't have time to put the graphics on the car, but boy, it sure is running well.
It sure is. Man, the top 5 throw a blanket over them, really. And here we go.
Whoa.
Our first slide job, maybe for 3rd place. Not quite. That's going to be Matthew Croak. We're still riding on board with him. He takes it right back down to the bottom side. He's going to leave that one lane for Chris Steele.
And now here goes Steele, says, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll try it here on Kevin Lovey's. Two of them actually know each other, as they both are affiliated with 360 teams up in Canada. And you can see Lovey's now dedicated to that bottom line. I think Chris Steele's got him for 2nd spot. And here comes Clevenger in the green and blue 78.
Here we go, looking off the gas tank. That's what he sees. If he's running that virtual mirror, he's going to take it to the high side. Can he find some grip up there and try to bring this thing home? Lap 7 of 10. This B main is winding down. I'll pull up the hard charger really quick. And Jack Clevenger, he's moved up 3 spots back there in 3rd.
You see Lane Snook moved up 3. Tough start for Aiden Young, as he's all the way back in a 13th place right now. But everybody up front has moved up spots to get there. Sylvie is gone right now. That's the black car you just see going out of your screen. The white number 80, that is Chris Steele, and Jack Clevenger right behind him. Kevin Lovey's is in the blue and white car, but Sylvie, this is impressive. He looks very fast out here in this beat.
He looks very fast, very strong, very comfortable as he just gets the white flag, works his way down turn 1, off of turn 2, down the back stretch, and it looks like he will seal the deal here, coming off of turn 4. Chris Steele is still trying to hold back Jack Clevenger for 3rd. It looks like he will. Kevin 4th and Matthew Croak back in 5th.
So Sylvie, we'll call him the shadow for tonight, because it does kind of look like a shadow of a car going around the racetrack from those wide shots he chose there. Chris Steele, Jack Clevenger, Kevin Lovey's there in. Matthew Croakey ends up 5th. Jamie McCarron 6th. Jeffrey Barker, Larry Moody, David Flick, Preston Crammer they are in, and so is Jesse Bandy and Lane Snook gets that final transfer spot. There will be a brief practice session right now, actually a very much needed practice session probably for many of these drivers. This will take place, I believe it's about 5 minutes, somewhere in that range. Gives us a chance to talk about some other stuff. First of all, what are you hearing, Jake? You do a lot more races than I do.
The new dirt track, Cedar Lake, I believe is what it is called. Mm-hmm. So that is that's the talk right now. As I switched the screens here on the stream, so if you guys are watching, I apologize. I had to fix something here on my side back to race mode. But yeah, new dirt track, Cedar Lake. Don't know much about it, but the latest one was Weed Sport, and a love-hate relationship. So hopefully Cedar Lake is a little bit wider and a little bit more racier.
Yeah, I think they did Weed Sport because they knew they had a market up in the Northeast that was waiting for one of their tracks. And they do tend to go with more of the marquee tracks. Of course, Cedar Lake has hosted a lot of World of Outlaw events over the years. I don't know much about it myself, to be honest with you, but I know that it has a reputation of being one of the raciest dirt tracks around. So it'll be interesting to see how much they use. Because I know a lot of these people, a lot of these leagues, they're going to jump right on it as soon as it's available, aren't they?
I would think so, yes. And then, man, the big blocks too. So you may see guys running some big block modifieds Monday, I think, is when they come out. And they may just throw them straight onto that new dirt track and try them both out at the same time.
Yep, and of course, there's a lot of tracks that the modifieds do run at. Besides that, Lernerville is one, of course. Eldora is one that they have run at a lot in the past. Volusia is where they usually start. Of course, that's pretty much where everybody in the dirt world gets their season started, unless they go maybe to Bubba Raceway Park or something like that beforehand. So I think it's nice that they always have a little something each build. I think it helps keep the game, the simulation new and fresh, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and they always improve it, man. They do. iRacing does a very good job. Last one there was a lot of stuff, a lot of new tire models and stuff like that. I haven't heard anything about new tire models this update. But man, if they can make the tires a little bit better, that would be sweet. Also, when these cars tap the outside wall, I wish they would slow them down a little bit more. I know the dirt street stocks, those deals are absolute tanks, but you can wall ride around a good handful of these tracks and be very fast.
Yeah, back in the 90s, early 2000s, that was one of the problems with the game. It was a game then on a computer, dirt track racing. That game had that very problem. So let's take a look at the points. Brandon Schultz, like we said, he has a comfortable lead, 70 over Chris Sabeski. And of course, there's drops to be figured in, so sometimes that can tighten up in that situation. Kenny Miller, well, he's way back. Really, Kenny Miller at 415 is trying to hold off Jesse Bandy for third position. Kyle Mooney has a chance, Moonen, excuse me, has a chance at 388 to maybe overtake both of those drivers. Ross Carinta, we saw him. He ran very well tonight. He is sixth in the points, followed by Larry Moody, Preston Cranmer, and Steve Goldner. And positions, let me see, 7, 8, 9, and 10 could all change as they are within 16 points. So a lot could change here tonight, a lot of pressure, but the best thing sometimes, Jake, is not to think about that. Just race one lap, one car at a time, right?
Yep. One lap, one car at a time, and, just try to stay out of trouble, but don't think too much about it. In football or basketball, right? If you try not to get hurt, sometimes you get hurt. So it's better just to go out there, race it out, race your setup, race your own race, and just see how the checker flag falls.
I had a friend of mine used to tell me, he used to say, don't try not to lose. He says, try to win. It's amazing just even how that mentality sometimes can make a big difference as the checkered flag has fallen. I mean, you got to tell yourself, like, let's say I'm Brandon Schultz, and I've got a 70-point lead. I see Chris Sabeski, who's 70 points behind me, right in front of me on the track. I might not be in a hurry to pass him. Right, Jake?
Yeah, take your time, race your own race, and it can be tricky. Sometimes you can outthink yourself and really hurt yourself. And so my solution, if I'm ever in the points lead, which I'm usually not, is just to
you and me both.
Yeah, for sure. Is just to race your own race and just see how the dominoes fall there at the end.
I'm raised to tell my daughter all the time, don't think, just drive. Sometimes that's the best thing that you can do as a driver. Of course, this feature race brought to us by the good folks at Ashweekend Speedway Race Source. They are Canada's choice for sprint car parts, accessories, consumables, you name it. They are right in the middle of one of the fastest growing markets in North America, right up there in Ashweekend Speedway land, where they run 360s weekly, by the way. Nobody has more wins, more laps, more times been on the Speedway than the experts there, so make sure to look them up. Here is the lineup here for this evening. Ross Carinta and Stephen Goldner, they are in row number 1. Sean Bowers, Robert Satterfield, they're in row number 2. Brandon Schultz, Jeff Fitzpatrick in row number 3. Kevin Fry, Brennan Lacey in row number 4. Kyle Mouden and Ludovic Buisson in row number 5. Back behind them, we've got Steven Spies and Chris Sabeski in row number 6. Craig Silby, Chris Steele. We're getting to the consolation cars now. They're in row number 7. Jack Clevenger and Kevin Loveys, who had a crash there in the practice session we just saw. Matthew Croakey, Jamie McCarran, they are in row number 9. Jeffrey Barker, Larry Moody in row number 10. David Flick and the VP Preston Cranmer, row number 11. And then Jesse Bandy and Lane Snook round everybody out as we have 24 cars. We started with 27, and these are the 24 that have made it into the Ashweekend Speedway Race Source feature event. Championship night here for the Elite Division here in the GeForce Racing League.
You got some fast guys back there. Back there in 12th place is Chris Sabeski. Craig Silsby's back there in 13th, so look for some of these guys to move up to the front in this 30-lap A-main show.
And unlike the heats and the consolation races, the caution laps will not count here. So the pace truck will come out during cautions. They'll get everybody up to speed and then back to racing as soon as possible. Ross Carinta and Stephen Goldner. Keep your eyes on Brandon Schultz. That's the black and white number 193. The one's real big. The 93 is really small up there on the wing. He is fifth. He has the big point lead. So unless something drastic were to happen, Jake, I would think fifth place would be just what he would need to win the championship.
I would think so too. Bring home a top 5, bring home the championship. That's what I would like to do. Green flag out for the 30-lap Big Mac Daddy show here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Ross Carinta down on the bottom side. Looks like he has lead, working them down into turns 3. And now coming off of turn 4, that's Stephen Goldner up there on the high side, but we're wheel to wheel, very, very deep back here in the field.
And this is something we haven't seen all night, this line that Ross Carinta is running down there next to the, utility tires, uke tires, whatever they call them, where you're part of. But on the outside there, Stephen Goldner uses the top to take the lead.
Stephen Goldner, the Canadian, he has a lead, working on down the backstretch. Very bumpy track. This track is getting worked in quite good. So a lot of shininess is happening on the track. and grip is slowly going away. Ross Carenta has now moved to the middle side in turns 1 and 2. And then you have Brandon Schultz back there in that all-black machine, working that outside lane.
And right where he wants to be, I think, because there's nobody right around him, although he did tap the wall a little bit. And Carenta's kind of running that line we were wondering about, because there's a lot of brown in the middle there, and it seems like he's trying to take advantage of it. Caution flag is out, as we were looking, I think, out of Brandon Schultz's car there, right?
Yeah, we was. As he was ripping the lip around turns 3 and 4, the first caution flag is going to wave of the 9, and it's going to wave on lap 6. Caution laps do not count, so it will be a true 30 lapper
right
around here at dirt track at Charlotte. And Kevin is showing red up on the program. We'll see if he was a cause of the accident. The all white car, and here we go, slow-mo action. He's that white and blue car, number 78. Looks like he was just sliding up.
Oh, Lovey's facing backwards. Never good to see cars coming at you. Nice job by Chris Steele again to miss that. That's the 80 that snuck by on the inside. And yeah, that's not a good view. Right there. I want to thank Malcolm Mills for their help on the replay. Full service, mill writing contractor. I've never been in that situation before, but I hear that's very bad when you're stopped and you're backwards, and here they come.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that he did not collect more cars. That was right in the middle of the track, and right there in the middle of the pack as well. But a lot of guys were able to avoid him, so good job by these drivers here at the GeForce Racing League.
Well, this is the elite division. This is the one you have to work up to. They don't just put you in this division like those old John Houseman commercials. You got to earn it. A little before Jake's time there. He doesn't quite remember that one. But Goldner on the bottom for this restart. Ross Carenta on the outside. Some of you guys that are my age know that one. And like we said, Brandon Schultz right where he needs to be on the inside, which I think if I'm Schultz, I'm nice and comfortable right there in the restarts. Right, Jake?
I would think as well. Top 3, that's podium spot, but he is a racer. And racers always want to win. So here we go. Green flag out. We ride on board with the side mount of Steven Goldner. And that is Brandon Schultz. He has grabbed second place right now.
Yellow's out already. So much for what I was saying there, Jake. You're right. He's a racer. He said, I'm not going to stay here in third. I'm going to get up to second if I can. As a quick caution comes back out. We did get in a lap, but under yellow here once again. And Brandon Schultz grabs another spot up to second.
Second place, our points leader, just trying to close out the championship night. We'll see if he does it. That's something we'll look out for. Ross Carenta has lost 2 spots. He was our pole sitter. He's back there in third place, so not too bad. Robert Statusville has not moved up or moved back any. Back there in fourth. Sean Bowers looks like he'll be being scored in fourth place as these guys come across the line.
I always like to watch who's moving up. Right now, I see Larry Moody started 20th. He's up to 12th, so he has passed more than a car lap in these first 6 laps here. As when we restart, we'll be doing lap number 7. Couldn't find it that time, Jake? Nothing showed up on your screen there?
Not that I can see. Let's try it one more time. We got one more lap, so yellow flag. Let's try this guy. So here it is. Here's a caution. Green flag. We'll do quarter speed mode, TV number 1, and get a little bit of some close action as everyone just dives down into turns 1 and 2. And here's that number 2 machine. A little bit of a love tap right there on the gas tank.
Just a little bit, but that is all it takes. Matthew Croakey getting into the back of Jack Clevenger. And, oh, geez, look at that. More contact there as well. And
then he almost hit the white tires. But here we go. Single file restart this time, Doug. Instead of stack them up, pack them up. Lights on the pace truck is off, and that guy is already off. And they're going to stand on loud pedal. Steven Goldner, the Canadian, leading this pack around turns 1 and 2.
Steven Goldner came in tonight 9th in the point standings. Chance to possibly move up as high as 7th, maybe even 6th, depending on what he does, what everybody else does around him. So, yeah, if I'm Steven Goldner, yeah, I'm going to go right to the front and see what I can do. And Brandon Schultz all over his tail tank right now as they work into turn 3.
Absolutely. A little nose camera right here as they work off of turn 4 down the front stretch here. The dirt track at Charlotte, very bumpy. As we said multiple times tonight, both these guys ripping the lip around turns 1 and 2, but Brandon Schultz, as a caution, is going to wave. But both of those guys look like they have some incredible speed up there, and they don't want no part of that bottom line.
Yeah, third place was almost a second behind, and they were only a couple of laps in to that green flag run. And it might have been good that it came out at that time because Schultz had just hit the wall right as that caution came out. But Goldner and Schultz are trying to make this a two-car battle here tonight.
Early on, we definitely have a two-car battle, but it's still 20 laps to go. I'm kind of curious if one of these guys' setup will fall off and another guy setup will, get hooked up and be fast around here.
Remember, they can move the wing on these cars too, so maybe moving the wing back or forward. They could do that during these cautions, and that can change the handling on the car significantly. For a while, they were actually going, remember, for a while there, Jake, they actually had adjustments for the shocks and everything for a while. And I talked to one of the guys who was running it. He says, I said, that's great. You can adjust all four quarters of the car. He goes, yeah, 4 more ways for me to dial the car out. So I thought that was interesting because, yes, sometimes even just like a little brake bias adjustment sometimes could either save you or put you back real fast through the field. So we'll see what happens. But like he said, there's still a lot that Corinta, Satterfield, and the rest of the drivers can do to try to run down Stephen Goldner and Brandon Schultz, who are really two of the cream of the crop drivers in this GForce Racing League.
And here's the replay real quick. Number 4 machine looked like he just hit the outside wall and got Chris Sabeski, and then Chris Sabeski just got completely demolished right there by about a handful of cars. So back to live mode, back to race mode, single file restart once again. One thing I'm noticing though, they're not diamond cutting off at turn 4 to take this green flag. I don't know if that's good or not, but here we go. Stephen Goldner going to take the green flag. Brandon Schultz going to work right there behind him. Ross Corinta down on the bottom side. Looks like he's losing a little bit of speed there in that middle groove.
Well, now I think he's gaining a little bit back, but that was an interesting line that Goldner used to bring the field down all the way down in the bottom. A little surprised everybody kind of stayed there with him. Schultz is into the wall a little bit there in second spot, lost a little ground. It's that blue and white car. That is third place Ross Corinta, who is trying to run these guys down, and you can see he's doing a little bit different line as we ride with Brandon Schultz.
Here we go, down in turns 1 and 2. The leader, both of them had to check up big time right there. Back on the loud pedal. Now Schultz is forced down to the bottom side. Don't hit those white tires. He's going to slide it up to the outside wall.
Goldner comes right back to the inside to challenge again for the spot. What a race we've got going on out front as Ross Corinta watches, and now Schultz clears and has the lead in 3. We'll see if Goldner dives low again. No, he's going to stay high.
He's going to try to see where he's losing speed as a yellow flag is going to wave on lap number 14. New leader, Brandon Schultz, as I don't know exactly what happened to Goldner as we was riding inside the cockpit. But both those guys, big time check up, and Schultz was able to grab it down there on the bottom side.
Looked like he might have had a little contact with the wall, but boy, once he got by, it looked like Schultz was ready to check out. So as far as Goldner and the rest of the field is concerned, maybe that was the break they needed. And we're hoping we might have a Malcolm Mills replay here in a little bit as we ride along, looking at the back out of Stephen Goldner's car as he runs in second place. And it's at the end here of the season. So again, I want to make sure we got a big thanks to everybody who's been involved with this. The cruise shop, of course, as we watch this replay, and then we'll run down the rest of them for you. But we've had a lot of help from a lot of folks to make this happen, so thank you. Oh, geez.
Lacey, he was tagging the wall all the way down the backstretch, and then we'll have to rewatch that one really quick. Don't know what all inspired there. Nope, wrong replay. Here we go. Lacey, TV number 1, that number 4 machine gets a little loose coming off a 4, and then, man, I don't know if it was those bumps or what, but he just demolished the outside wall.
Looked like he overcorrected a little bit that time through the corner. Clevenger, just a little tap there to spin him around the rest of the way. Thanks, like we said, to Malcolm Mills. Also wanted to thank 2W's Plumbing. They've been helping us out all year. Schultz Heating and Cooling, A&J Custom Creations. They've been with us all year long. Strickland's GM Sweet, of course, our Sweetwood Speedway Race Source, Green Flag back out, and later we'll be heading to Southern Patio Enclosures, Victory Lane, after this is done as we watch Brandon Schultz, and boy, did he get a good restart, and so did Ross Corinta up to second.
Working their way down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. Schultz is still up on the Heinz carry side, have not left that besides one corner, and he was able to grab it on that one corner. You still have Stephen Goldner, though. He's still looking strong there in second place, but Ross Corinta, he is making that bottom side work down in turns 3 and 4.
Wonder if he set his gears up that way. Yellow flag out once again. but Goldner under a lot of pressure for second, and what that's allowed is for Brandon Schultz to pull out to the biggest lead that he has had all day. Caution flag out. We are just at the halfway point of this 30-lap championship night here for the Elite Division at the dirt track at Charlotte, the fastest 4/10 mile track I can even think about. I'm Doug Elkins, Jake Fluman here with me, and this has been a good race between Schultz and Goldner. Ross Corinta has been right there as well, but it's going to be interesting to see if some of these other guys can make their way up there, Jake.
Yeah, once this last car crosses the line, since caution laps don't count, that's why you see the scoring tower kind of go crazy. So the first guy crosses the line, my program scores him in last place till everyone crosses. But here we go. Here's the gainers. We'll see who's moved up the most. Larry Moody back there in 10th place. He's moved up 10. You have Jesse Bandy back in 12th. He's moved up 11. So you got a couple of these guys working their way up here in the halfway point.
And a lot of times those cautions can really work for those drivers. They avoid a caution, pick up 2 spots, go out there again, another wreck happens in front of them, miss it, grab another couple of spots, and you can see the lap times. Boy, everybody's a lot closer than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, Schultz and Goldner looks like they're running the exact same quickest time right there. But once they go back under green, I'll pull up their last lap times, and we'll see just how fast those two guys are running, as these guys are single filed back up. Once again, the pace truck is off halfway point. Championship night. Schultz going diamond cut off of turn 4, and he gets another good jump on the field.
You see Schultz and Goldner, the only guys under 15 and a good 2 to 3 tenths faster than the rest of the group. Although don't tell that to Ross Corinta as he goes down to the bottom trying to catch Goldner, but Goldner was ready for it and went even lower as it looks like he's in defensive mode now.
And now Robert Satterfield is into the picture. He's there in 4th place. Kevin Fry is also in the picture. He's working that bottom side as these guys are getting crazy loose as this track is getting very, very slick.
Yeah, it's changed a lot from where we were earlier. That's Robert Satterfield, that black number 55, up into 5th place as we look out the back of his car as he works on this racetrack. Out front still, biggest lead of the night for Brandon Schultz. That's why you're not seeing him on the screen right now, because he's well over a second ahead of Stephen Goldner and Ross Corinta, and that's the battle for 3rd and 4th that you see right there on your screen right now, or 4th and 5th, excuse me.
And then you have some guy, I think that may be Chris Still. He is working that high side. I don't think that's Chris Still. That's going to be Sean Bowers there in 7th place. Everyone has moved down to the bottom side, but Sean does not care. He's still ripping the lip next to that outside wall and still trying to make some spots out there.
Well, it's either going to really work or really not work when you get down to it. Looks like it's kind of working for him right now, though, as we see him try to come off. And only thing about running that high line is sometimes those cars off the bottom will come all the way out to drive underneath the flagger's toes, and that's when you can have a problem.
And here's Brandon Schultz, our leader. He just now comes across the line. Here's 2nd place of Stephen Goldner. A 1.3 a second lead for Brandon. He definitely does not want to see a caution. Stephen Goldner wants to see a caution. Ross Corinta is still working that bottom side there in 3rd. Kevin Fry is back there in 4th. But, man, that top side looks like it has completely gone away, and that bottom side is slowly coming in.
Yeah, and you can see even just the difference in the color in the track there. You can see the drivers running that extreme line. And I have to wonder, do you set up for that? Or if your car doesn't really want to work there, how good are you in that position? Goldner, he's decided to stay up high, and he is a guy who is usually a bottom feeder. And Ross Corinta now falling back. That's the blue and white car on the bottom, falling back from him a little bit.
Stephen Goldner now goes back to the top side, but the top 2 guys are slowly spread apart. Actually, the top 3 are. So we're going to work our way back through the field. Running there in 10th spot is Kyle Moonen. And that number 24 machine has 5 laps to go, and the caution flag is going to wave.
That was a good green flag run they had right there. Brandon Schultz trying to win the championship the way every driver wants to win the championship, by winning the race. His lead was up to 1.3 seconds, almost 1.4 when that came out, and Goldner had about 7 tenths on Ross Corinta. So when we showed you those lap times earlier, it's no surprise that Schultz and Goldner are running 1-2 on the racetrack.
See who the hard charger is as of right now. I think it was Kyle Moonen Larry Moody last time. And he still moved up 11 spots back there in 9th place. So he's trying to cap off the season-ending race with a very good, strong finish.
lot of series actually reward hard chargers, and you probably saw that Jesse Bandy had also moved up 11 spots. But when they do that award, if there is a tie, it's whoever finishes ahead of the other driver is actually scored as the hard charger. Boy, it'd be nice if they could put a camera like that on in the real world, but I don't think it would last very long.
Looking off the back of Jeff Fitzpatrick onto Jesse Bandy, he has no front wing on that
Oh
thing.
no,
So
that
we'll
is
have
not
to.
going to drive well.
That is not, man. That car's going to handle not the best. So we'll kind of watch out for him. He's back there in 12th spot, and he has moved up 11 spots. So he started way back in the field, and he's trying to cap off a very good season-ending race here at the dirt track at Charlotte. But Doug, with no front wing, I don't know how good
Yeah.
that thing's going to drive.
Yeah, he started in the last row in 23rd, and obviously that wing hasn't been missing the whole race, or he wouldn't be in that position. It's going to be interesting to see if he can even hold on to 12th place without that front wing. Of course, when you get in traffic, you get behind somebody, you can almost draft them. Front wing not as important as when you're out running by yourself. We are 25 laps complete in a 30-lap race, and back to green.
Brandon Schultz gets another very good jump as Goldner may have just tapped that wall coming off, and here comes Ross Carenta now. Down to the bottom side. Will he try to slide up? No, he won't. Kevin Fry is into the mix. He's trying to make it 3 wide coming off of 4, but not
I wonder if he
quite.
saw Fry. You know that? I wonder if he saw Fry. I'm sorry about that, Jake, and maybe that changed his move.
I have no idea, but now here comes Robert Satterfield, but that is very true. Now, you kind of wonder if people are just mirror driving and just trying to block every line there is and just trying to hold your position. But Kevin Fry is looking very strong back there in 4th spot.
A lot of these drivers do have spotters that will watch with them. A lot of them have multiple teammates that they chat with at the time, so it's very possible that they could know. 2 laps to go here as the lead for Brandon Schultz continues to lengthen, but the battle for second is still a good one as we look out from Kevin Fry's camera here.
Yeah, a little bit of a gyro cam, kind of a roll bar cam is a white. The flag is going to wave. We're wheel to wheel for second place. Who's going to grab second place for the season-ending race? Brandon Schultz has a 1.2 second lead. Down turns 3 and 4. Ross Carenta down on the bottom side. Steven Goldner trying to get some power off the top side to the line. It's going to be Ross Carenta is going to capture second place. Steven Goldner third, but our leader, our points winner, the season champ for the GForce Racing League is going to be Brandon Schultz.
And did it like we said, like every driver wants to. I mean, that's the way you win a championship right there. I know sometimes you do have to ride around and get what you get, but anytime you can win the championship and be smiling in victory lane with the trophy afterwards, the day can't get much better than that. So Schultz wins, Carenta second, Steven Goldner falls from second to third on the last lap. Kevin Fry ends up fourth, Robert Satterfield fifth, Ludovic Buisson ends up in 6th place, Larry Moody in 7th, Chris Steele in 8th, Sean Bowers and Kyle Moonen round out the top 10, and Jesse Bandy was able to finish without that wing and actually picked up a spot, so good job for him there. As you see the flags right there, drivers from all over the place, primarily an American contingent, but nice to see the Canadian and Australian teams here running with us. And the New Zealand flag is very similar to that as well. So Brandon Schultz does what he needs to do. He came in with a 70-point lead, and he just destroyed the field, winning by 1.2 seconds. I notice President Roger Craig is up here with us now. He has been crunching numbers and things like that because there are some drops and things like that that need to be figured in. But I would think, Roger, it'd be pretty safe to say that Brandon Schultz did win the championship.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's a safe bet with Brendan, and he actually he didn't even race the full season, so he's a pretty dominant driver, and he showed it tonight.
Yeah, there were 8 races coming in tonight. He had only run 7, and actually Kenny Miller only ran 6 coming in tonight. He was third in the point standings. Boy, I guess that's the way you want to win it right there, though, right, Roger? Not just riding around, but actually winning the race and getting a smile in victory lane and take the championship.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to have it, handed to you when you run around the back or something. He finished the whole season off with class.
Steven Goldner is up here in the room with us right now. He ended up finishing in third tonight. And of course, we want to thank the folks at Southern Patio Enclosures for their sponsorship this year with our Victory Lane ceremonies. You're looking for something to add on to your house or business. Don't let the name Southern Patio Enclosures fool you. They do work all over the place, so we're happy to have them with us. Steven Goldner, third place. Good, solid run for you. How did we lose a spot that last lap? Looked like you and Ross Carenta were having a heck of a battle.
Yeah, we had a good battle with Ross there. He was definitely pretty quick. We just had a bad entry in the 1 and 2 on that last restart, and gave Ross an opportunity to get by me there, and I just couldn't get to it. And then I kind of tried a little bit too hard that last set of corners there and spun my tires, and he definitely had it then. But I mean, we gave him a good try at the line, but I mean, third's good. I mean, that's the best finish so far this year. I guess this year total in the league, we haven't really had a good season.
What did you do wrong on the restart in 1 and 2?
I just kind of jumped the cushion a little bit. Just the car didn't sit down in it like it was most of the race. Just kind of up on top of the cushion. So
Did we actually touch the wall or no?
no, it didn't touch the wall. Just upset the car too much to get a good drive off.
Still a good finish, and we won a championship Monday night, so it's still a pretty good week, right?
Yeah, we won a couple this season, so pretty happy with the performance this year. Next
This
season.
place, particular Charlotte, how do we like here?
I'm a big fan, actually. Tonight was okay. Usually, it's for the Renegades. It's a little tackier, and I can run the top a little bit better. But I mean, nothing to be upset about. Third's definitely a good finish, and Charlotte's a lot of fun.
Nice job, Stephen. Who would you like to say thank you to?
Oh, I gotta thank all the guys that Bandy built: Jesse, Brandon, Kyle, Fitzy, Brennan. Gotta thank bio.com, Wagman Bros, Velocity Race Designs, Dirt Doctor Trucking, and Powerhouse Motorsports.
Nice job, Steve. Good talking to you.
Thanks a lot.
I was actually ahead of Steven for a brief moment in the road race on Sunday, but once he got by me, he was gone. But for a little bit, I had him there. So, nice job by Stephen Goldner here tonight. Next up will be Ross Carinta, and I think we're going to move up to him, or is he going to move up? I think Roger might move him up for him, and there he goes. Ross, second place. Nice job, nice move on the last lap. Tell me, how'd you do it?
Well, as you can see, I was kind of running that bottom in the middle again. Kind of seems to be working for me right now, so I figured why go away from it.
When did we decide to go down there, and how did you know, or did you know that it would work?
I didn't know, 100%. I tried the top a little bit at the beginning of the race, and the car was just bouncing around too much. So figured I had to try to figure out a way to stay off the bumps to stay fast.
The picture or the video we're seeing right now, I saw the color of the track kind of changing in that groove. Is that what made you go down there?
That helps when you get the marbles on there. It just seems to add a little bit of stick.
But not early, right? Because I noticed early, if you went in there, it was all marbles, probably wouldn't work at all, right? Or no?
Well, I don't know. I mean, theoretically it shouldn't, but iRacing
Right.
is different. So I don't know. It just seems if you can find a little lighter color dirt, then and you can keep that right rear on it, then it seems to work.
Good run though, right? And always nice to make a last lap pass for position, right?
Yeah, those Vanderbilt guys are tough to beat. So
Who do you want to say thank you to for the nice run tonight, Ross?
the teammates over at Phantom Motorsports for helping out with setups, Power Outdoors for the sponsorship, and then partner Chris at Velocity Race Design for helping us look good.
Nice job, man. Fun talking to you.
Yep, for the broadcast too, guys. You guys do an amazing job.
Thank you. We really do appreciate that. It's always nice to hear that. Thank you very much. Brandon Schultz will be up here with us here in just a moment. And Brandon, congratulations. I know you had a goal tonight to win the championship, but you got two things done. You won the race too. I would imagine that's the way every driver wants to win a championship.
Yeah, it was nice to win the final night and lock up the championship. It was a lot of fun. I just gotta thank Roger for doing this and you guys for broadcasting, but I really gotta thank like all the drivers out here. I mean, me and Chris and Kenny and Jesse and just a bunch of other guys ran each other so hard, but really clean. And it was a really fun time.
Was the plan to just try to go to the front and whatever happens, happens? Or were you a little careful maybe the first few laps and in the qualifying heat?
Um, Probably a little careful. Like I didn't want to do anything too stupid. I wanted to make sure, I at least finished the race, no matter if it was first or last. Like I just wanted to make sure, I finished. But I mean, the track was super difficult. The top, I personally think the top was the quickest, but it's probably the roughest Charlotte I've ever had to run on. Um, which made it interesting, but still, it was a really hard race.
Yeah, we were seeing you going through the bumps there at front. What does that feel like in the car, and what does it do when you hit those bumps?
It really throws the car off, especially if if you hit a bump wrong, it could throw you into the wall, or it could, point you down the track into somebody else, and it doesn't feel good hitting them, but if it's the quickest line, then you have to be up there because somebody like Chris or Kenny or Ross or Steven is gonna take advantage of you every time.
Were you surprised once you got out there in front that you were able to just pull away?
A little bit. I kind of found the car a little bit more, found the right throttle control, and when you can kind of just be on your own out front, with a decent lead, nothing crazy, but you can kind of take some of that pressure off yourself and really focus on hitting your marks.
I think for the fans and the people who watch, a lot of times we might not be able to catch the subtle things you're doing with your right foot. What were you doing to keep it under control with the gas?
Probably just like never going above three-quarter throttle, and
Really?
letting off a little bit coming into the corner, and coming out of the corner, just rolling back onto it nice and smooth. You don't want to be jumpy on the throttle. That's when bad things happen. Car breaks loose, points down the track, crashes happen. So you got to be really smooth on throttle.
Now, were you doing that the whole race or more towards the end?
More towards the end. The beginning I was just about almost wide open the whole time, and I think that I was just really overdriving it and losing a lot of speed just because the rear tires couldn't hook up, and I was just spinning more than anything. So I mean, to run these sprint cars, you definitely on slick tracks and really good leagues, like you have to have really good throttle control for here, especially with all the G-force. They have a lot of really good guys in here, and like I said, if you don't have good throttle control, somebody else is going to beat you.
Now, and also, I would think with the track slickening up like this, restarts were a key. So, were you being extra careful with the right foot on the restarts as well?
A little bit. I do my restarts a little bit different than most. But I do it for a reason. I practice that quite a bit. You can't hammer the car too hard on the restart, but at the same time, if you want to get the car turned down the track, you have to use a decent amount of throttle, and that goes into some things in the setup while using that throttle. But yeah, yeah, it was just a really good night. I'm glad we got it done.
Who would you like to say thank you to, not just for the win, but for the championship?
Uh, First, I